Hey guys, Travis here, and this is your week 1 while I'm on vacation guitar lesson. So what we're going to cover today is legato. So what that means is we're working primarily with our left hand, building our endurance, our strength, our dexterity, all those good things, and giving our right hand a bit of a break. So what is legato? Legato is playing the notes, well, like I said, primarily with the left hand, but in a hammer-on and pull-off motion. So as I showed you before, a hammer-on, by the way, is specifically you pick a note, articulate it, and you're hammering on with your other finger to articulate the second note being played. You can do that in succession by other fingers, and the opposite way. So when we descend, we do a pull-off. A pull-off is more like like an existing note being played and plucking. So using the meat of our fingertip to push and pluck down to accent the note, articulate the note that's actually behind it. So, like so. Like so. So the first exercise that I want us to tackle today is just primarily getting used to playing like this up and down the fretboard. So we're going to start by using our index and our middle finger, and we're going to walk up the 5th and 6th fret and descend at the same time. So like so. Like so. Then you would do the index and ring finger. Then you would do the pinky finger. Then you would move on to your middle ring finger. And then you would move on to your middle pinky. And then lastly, you would do your ring pinky. To really work on getting all these fingers to work together, especially when we have to jump around positions, very important not to have a weakness with any of our fingers. So that is exercise 1. Hey guys, for exercise 2, what we're going to tackle today is applying a sequence and talk a little bit about muting. So muting with this technique is very right hand centric. Since our left hand is doing all the motion, is our thumb is going to lay over the string. So in this case, it's laying over the B string, the E string, the A string, and then the D string. And then we're picking the G string here to start. And what we're doing with our middle finger here, this middle finger, is we're actually resting on the B string that's below it, like such. But I guess in this case I was picking the D string and muting the G string with my middle finger in that previous exercise. So in this case we're just going to be muting the B string with our middle finger, and then we're going to be picking the G string. And then our thumb is covering the B, E, A, and D. Make sense? So this is how it makes it so clean and clear and crisp. Like such. So doing so, by muting in this way, we're going to be really clean in how we play legato across the fretboard. So here's the exercise that I want you to try and practice isolated muting with. We're going to go on the G string, we're going to go back to that 5-7-9 pattern, and we're going to start by you articulate the note off the to be 9, 7, 5, 7, 5. Fun, right? and then we can do multiple combinations. But when you get your when you have your thumb muting everything low and you have your middle finger muting the string above, it's really clear, clean, and crisp. So practicing this sequence is going to help us alternate our finger use too, instead of just hammering on one finger at a time. That gets boring, old. We want to be able to have varying sequences and have some musical fun with this technique as well. So we go back, we can apply it to any string. Let's take a different 3-note per string shape. Let's look at this Aeolian shape at the top of the Ionian off of that high E string. Let's look at that. So in this case, because my middle finger does not have a string above it, it does nothing but hold its position, and then my thumb is muting everything below that string. So as you would ascend or descend, your middle finger, especially under descend, is just going to fall in place to touch the next string at the next time. Just like if you were to ascend. Make sense? Get after it. So this next exercise is more about the dynamics of your legato phrasing, okay? And not phrasing, but articulation. So as we're picking an exercise here, we want our legato to be just as loud as if we were picking it ourselves. So how is that going to look like? So we're going to do 4 rounds of that original sequence. We'll go like so. And then you pick 3 rounds of it, or 2 rounds of it. The key with this is it's not about hitting it harder. It's about how fast your fingers come down to make the hammer on, and then pushing and flicking, basically flicking, the pull off to get it to articulate just as loud if you were to pick the note by yourself. So you need to alternate between 4 rounds of the scale or the sequence, or the legato sequence, excuse me, and then 2 rounds of the picking sequence to check yourself. It's like a bent note when you have to play the note that you bend up to because you can't quite hear it yet. This is the same exact example where you know you're playing legato, but are you playing it at the volume that you're looking to play it towards? So if you keep working on this, I promise it's going to get better. Exercise 4 for legato this week, we're going to tackle ascending and descending scale shapes by just using legato alone. What this is going to do is it's going to help you to memorize the shape if you're struggling with any shape combination, and then implementing legato into something that we know and love and might need a little bit of work with. So say if you're struggling with Mixolydian to Locrian shape. And as you're doing this, it's very important you pick the first note of every string, and that's it. The rest is hammer-ons and pull-offs. Like so. Or maybe you struggle with Aeolian to Dorian. Or say you want to practice in 2-string shapes. Let's just walk the whole scale off of the high 2 strings real quick. apply those to any 2-string combinations, we're really working on using legato in that way to help apply it to the stuff that you know that you need practice with. It's an incremental part away from just using our right hand. It's getting our left hand dexterity and endurance built, and then also to make sure that we're getting those hammer-ons and pull-ups really articulated, so that way it's seamless when we go to play it and we don't notice the difference when it comes to tracking, soloing, anything like that. So get after it, enjoy it. All right, exercise 5 for legato this week. I hope you guys are ready, because this one takes the cake. We have talked about scales, we've talked about sequences. Now we're gonna marry the two and add contours to it. So this is a big 4-banger. 4-banger. Let's break down these 4 walls and have some fun with this. So those of you who remember the contour exercise, this applies to any sequence that you play based off of those top 5. So I'm gonna share with you the 2, and then go back and look at those and see how you can apply legato to those as well. So for the first one, let's look at the Ionian shape that we got here. In a descent manner, so that we are using legato along with the scale shape, and the contour. Let's add that sequence to it too. Let's do a version of what we did before. So what we did before was and now we're just applying it to that Ionian shape coming down. Like such. A little bit slower. Try that again. Like so. So what would contour 2 look like? Let's take a look. Try it again real quick. So basically, contour 2, we're taking that same descending pattern, down 3, up 1, and then we're doing a turnaround within the legato instead of picking it. So now we're going to jump. That turnaround. Back up to turnaround. So how do we practice this? Take any of those previous scale shapes that you struggle with, apply this contour scale sequence combination with legato, and it'll have your brain so much focus going on, it'd be hard for you not to memorize these shapes as we go. Because the more that you think while you're practicing and practicing slow, the more that you're going to memorize it, internalize it. It's about that myelin wrap. So all of these exercises are going to be in tablature and sent to you as well. So feel free to reference those, but very important to pay attention to these videos and how I was playing today. If you have any questions, email me. I'll be available to answer emails on my vacation, and I hope you guys have fun, get after it, and enjoy.